This is a fascinating story that bridges medieval history and modern forensic science. It's a tale of a lost king, a determined hunt, and an incredible archaeological discovery that rewrote the ending of one of history's most infamous narratives. Here is the full true story of the discovery of King Richard III's skeleton, the king and his disappearance. The historical figure. Richard III was the last Plantagenet king of England, ruling from 1483 until his death in 1485. His reign was short and tumultuous, ending at the Battle of Bosworth Field on August 22, 1485. This battle was the decisive conflict in the Wars of the Roses, where the House of Lancaster, represented by Henry Tudor, defeated the House of York, led by Richard. According to historical sources, Richard fought bravely but was ultimately struck down. The Tudor historians who followed wrote the narrative that has survived for centuries, that he was a villainous, hunchbacked usurper who murdered his young nephews, the princes in the Tower, to secure his throne. The mystery. After the battle, Richard's body was stripped, paraded, and taken to Leicester, a nearby town loyal to the Tudor cause. Historical records state he was buried in the choir of the Church of the Grey Friars. The Grey Friars were a Franciscan monastic order, and their church in Leicester was a significant building. Henry Tudor was crowned King Henry VII on the battlefield, and the Tudor dynasty began. Over the next decades, the story of the evil Richard III was solidified. The location of his grave, however, was lost to history. The Vanishing Act. 50 years later, during the English Reformation, King Henry VIII dissolved the monasteries. The Grey Friars Priory was demolished, its buildings stripped for materials. The site eventually passed into private hands. Over the centuries, the exact location of the church was forgotten. The area was developed over, and by the 20th century, it was known that the former priory was somewhere under the modern city of Leicester, but no one knew precisely where. Legends persisted that his bones had been dug up and thrown into the River Soar. By the 1930s, the area was a mess of urban development. Crucially, the site where the church was believed to have stood was now a city council parking lot. The hunt for a king. The Philippa Langley hypothesis. The story reignites in the 21st century, driven by a remarkable woman named Philippa Langley. A screenwriter and member of the Scottish Richard III Society, she became fascinated by the king and believed the Tudor propaganda had unfairly maligned him. She was determined to find his lost grave and, in doing so, perhaps prompt a re-evaluation of his character. After extensive historical research, she became convinced the Grey Friars Church lay under the Leicester City Council parking lot. Her conviction was so strong that during a